everybody? Welcome back to We the Champz Sports podcast show, whatever you want to call it. We're going to get into some NFL draft action, but before we do that, do us a quick favor: hit that like, subscribe, and share amongst everybody. Me? Oh, yes, I am Jay. I am your co-host and the founder of We the Champz, and let's get into it. So the NFL draft, it's always a good time. It's an exciting time every year. It's like, who's my team going to pick? We need this, we need that. And it's even more exciting if your team is one of the very first picks and there's some exciting quarterback prospects ahead that you need. And also, guys, just realize with the NFL draft, we see our team taking these building blocks that we need. However, at the same time, it's very special and intimate because we also get to see these young football player men see their dreams come true, as we often see, the guys just start crying, their families crying, and it's just an unbelievable moment for those guys and us as analysts, fans of the sports. But anyways, let's get into it. So, speaking of quarterbacks, Bryce Young went first. There's no surprise there. There's a lot of smoke about the other top three, CJ, Will Levis, which I don't know where that Will Levis hype came from recently, the week leading to the draft. And AR-15, Bryce Young's the most talented quarterback in the draft as far as analyzing the field, improvising, just accuracy, and being able to lead the team and work with less, honestly. Bryce Young is a really good pick for the Panthers. Hats off. Tip my hat to the Panthers, and I'm really excited about this addition. We have C.J. Stroud at number 2. And I'm not going in order, guys. I'm just going in the highlights of what we've seen over the past weekend. C.J. Stroud was the number 2 pick. There was a lot of smoke being blown about that. I didn't believe for 1 second that the Houston Texans were going to pass up on a talent like C.J. Stroud. I know reports they said before they didn't like him. And I just believe all of that was to get their division rivals, the Titans and the Colts, who drafted 2 spots after them, just to make mistakes and just try to get them into trades and moves they don't want to, or vice versa, don't make them make those moves. So C.J. Stroud going number 2 right there was big. And let's start with some surprises for this draft. Actually, the first surprise is Will Anderson Jr. because that was the big question mark for a lot of people, not me. Are the Texans going to go with Will Anderson Jr. or C.J. Stroud? And what do you know? They picked both of them. What? These guys traded and made it. They traded with who was the number 2 pick again? They traded with the Cardinals for the number 3 pick. It got Will Anderson too. I mean, they gave up a good bit of capital, I'm sure, for that trade. I know they had a first-round pick, second round, blah, blah, blah. But this shows that this team is really – I believe that they are in on the quarterback. However, I think this shows that they're really into trying to build that foundation. You bring in a new head coach, the promising, the hot commodity who was D'Amico Ryans with that team. And what kind of structure did D'Amico Ryans come with from before coaching that defense? He had dominant pass rusher and Nick Bosa. And he controlled that defense, and he just had it going. So I feel like this was just a signal right here. Like, I can imagine them in a war room. Like, guys, we want both of them. Like, how are we going to make this happen? And it's crazy. They managed to get C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. So big props to them getting that foundation done. Now it's time to go to work for the Texans. Should have seen me and the boys. We were like, whoa. All right. Some other surprise picks here. Jalen Carter falling to number 9 to the Eagles. I'm like, bro, the Eagles just went to the Super Bowl. And Jalen Carter was arguably the number 1, number 2 prospect, number 3, top 3 prospect in everybody's analyzations of these players. Now, I know he had some issues off the field with the car accident and the teammate and the team assistant dying in the car crash, and they were racing And also, they said he was out of shape or he came in overweight to training, well, to the combine. And I honestly thought the Seahawks were going to, jump for this one at the number 5 pick because Jalen Carter is a monster, man. But now Jalen Carter is just added to the Eagles stable of dogs at number 9. That's the biggest steal of the draft for me. I did not picture him falling this far. The furthest I saw him going was possibly number 7 to the Raiders. Just these early drafting teams that needed a whole lot of defense, and the rich just get richer in this situation. So big props to the Eagles. And let's talk about the Eagles real quick and their stable of dogs. Bro, this is ridiculous. So they already have a few Georgia players, big time players on their team as at the moment right now. The Philadelphia Eagles accumulated 4 Georgia Bulldog players in this draft. Now, one of them was a trade. They traded for DeAndre Swift, running back from the Detroit Lions. They drafted Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. What another steal. In a lot of big boards, draft boards, they had Nolan Smith going number 10 to the Eagles. And they were able to swipe Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, bro. What the hell? This is just nonsense. Nolan Smith, another super athletic pass rusher, edge rusher from the Georgia Bulldogs. I think he might have fell due to his size. I'm really not sure. This just didn't quite make sense to me here. And he fell to number 30. And also, the Eagles drafted Kelly Ringo, cornerback from the Georgia Bulldogs. I had Kelly Ringo as my number 5 cornerback prospect. Some other guys had him outside of that, falling out of the first round, but I definitely had him in those top 40 players. And they really got him at a good position. Nice size corner, great speed. And what do all of these players have in common? Oh, what? They have that dog mentality and championship DNA. It's the past 2 seasons, the Georgia Bulldogs college football team has had the most dominant, just a historic-esque defense in these past 2 seasons in the modern era where football is just all about points. They were just strapping up teams. I mean, it's insane. And the Georgia Bulldogs get their 3 top defensive players from the past season. And not to mention last year, Jordan Davis, defensive tackle, another super prospect. This dude was 340, ran a damn 4.8. Like, that's a scary sight. Come on. And they also, who else did they get last year? It was Jordan Davis. I can't think of who the other guy is, but man, this is just insane. The Philadelphia Eagles now being referred to as the Philly Bulldogs. Big props to them. They made some strong moves in this draft. All right. Now going back to the surprise picks, let's head over here to the NFC North. The Lions. Okay. So the Lions had 2 picks in this first round. And with their first pick, they traded back to draft Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay. Jahmyr Gibbs is a great football player, but where the Lions, this is a luxury pick for the Lions right here. I mean, you guys played tough, had one of the top offenses, but you still didn't make the playoffs. You got to patch up that defense, baby. No, you got your anchor. You're building your foundation with Aiden Hutchinson. But we had so many pass rushers in this draft and so many cornerbacks, top cornerbacks at the top as prospects that you could have went for instead of Jahmyr Gibbs. No knock to him. Jahmyr Gibbs is nice. He reminds me of a faster Alvin Kamara. That's my pro comparison for Jahmyr Gibbs. Lions, this was definitely a head scratcher, but you did get a really good prospect in Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'm really excited to see him play. It just seems like they were just thinking, okay, let's just make sure this offense stays at the top, because this offense is what's going to guide us. The defensive pieces that we have, we're going to get better. The coaching's going to get better. So they're trying to keep this offense loaded. All right. And so another surprising pick. So not sure if you guys heard or if you checked this out. If you did either of those, I really appreciate you. The Atlanta Falcons drafted Bijan Robinson, running back out of Texas, with the number 8 pick. This is another luxury pick here. However, oh man, this had to be one of the most exciting picks of the draft. Bijan Robinson was also projected to go to the Eagles. I mean, he could have went anywhere on this board on the first round. I had him going late first round, but I kind of felt like this was going to happen. But to the Falcons? So that right there tells you what the Falcons intend to do. The Falcons had a pretty good run offense this past season. Had to run a quarterback in Marcus Mariota, Cordell Patterson, and the rookie from last year, Tyler Algier. And that's why this is such a head-scratching pick. In the draft, you want to accumulate players that can start and just be blue-chip players, especially in those top 10 picks, top 15. Any first-round pick. You want to get your top prospect and project them to be a blue-chip player. But at the running back position, you go for a guy who can be a superstar. But this just shows me that the Falcons are super focused and super dedicated on this running game that they have. And that's going to be the strength in the team. You're just going to have to build on that defense. And I'm not sure if this is a good sign for Desmond Ridder and the Falcons or if it's a bad sign, Because a quarterback's best friend is that run game and the defense. They're trying to optimize this run game. We're going to see fantasy owners. If you see Bijan Robinson right there, definitely take him. He's a great catcher out of the backfield, explosive, powerful back, can get downhill. Definitely for fantasy, be looking at Bijan Robinson in that black and red. All right. Another head scratcher here, Luka Van Ness, number 13 to the Green Bay Packers. Luka Van Ness is good, but Luka Van Ness went before Nolan Smith. Luka Van Ness went before Will McDonald. Luka Van Ness went before Miles Murphy. This was a head scratcher. I mean, first off, you got your young quarterback in Jordan Love. You don't have any superstars on that offense. I know Christian Watson showed flashes, Romeo Doubs showed flashes, but you still don't have that number one receiver to help out your young quarterback. And there were great tight ends here. Dalton Kincaid, Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame, and you guys went defense here. This is such a Green Bay Packers move. It's like, bro, what the hell are y'all doing? I know Aaron Rodgers saw this and was like, yup, yup, that's why I'm out of here. They drafting defense. Yup, I'm not with this. I mean, can this just be that they believe Jordan Love can just do the damn thing? I mean, there's question marks all around here. See, question marks popping up. We'll see. Lucas Van Ness is definitely a great prospect, edge rusher out of Iowa. I have no doubt he can become a Pro Bowl prospect in a couple of years, 1 to 3 years. But I just think you help your young quarterback right here. All right. Some other things. Will Levis fell out of the first round. That was somewhat shocking. Felt bad for the guy. He was at the draft and didn't go in the first round. But he went right into the second day. So, the 33rd pick to the Titans, that's pretty much a first-round pick, early second-round pick. Yeah, I had him going. I saw him going to the Bucks, but I just feel like the social media presence. It's just a lot of things. Turning over the ball in his career quite often. I just feel like that didn't do him favors in the first round. And all of those guys that went before him are actually better prospects than him. I mean, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and Anthony Richardson. It's pretty interesting. Now, maybe the Titans knew this was going to happen, or they were like, okay, we're just going to wait. But there was a lot of buzz around the Titans taking Will Levis in that first round at the what pick were they? At the number 11 pick. But they had to get that offensive tackle. So Will Levis, he'll sit behind Tannehill for a year, or he might get bought in a little bit early. This is a great position for him, just to sit back, learn, and develop those skills to already very, very athletic physique and crazy potential in that firearm. All right. So what else we have here? Hendon Hooker went to pick number 68 to Detroit. I feel like that's where Hendon Hooker belonged. I didn't see him as a first round talent. I wanted the Seahawks to get him here. I just kind of knew that wasn't going to happen. So him falling to Detroit at number 68 in the third round, that's a really good spot. He gets to sit behind. There's no rush to bring him in. And when it's time, you can see what he's about. If he's good, awesome. You got a steal in the third round. If he's bad, hey, we got him in the third round. We can keep it moving, all right? Now, one of the funny things from the draft is there was a lot of buzz around Dalton Kincaid going to the Cowboys. They're like, oh, the Cowboys, they're getting the tight end. I don't know if it was leaked from them or what, but that was just the whole notion right there in the mid-20s. The Cowboys are drafting Dalton Kincaid, the tight end. And the Bills traded with the Giants to that pick. I think it was the 25th, 26th pick. And they drafted Dalton Kincaid. Literally the pick right before the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, my gosh. And we looked at Skip Bayless. Shout out to Skip Bayless. We looked at his tweet, and he was upset. Oh, the Bills took it right out of his nose. Dalton Kincaid's another great receiving tight end. He has a production on his end. I have no doubt that he'll be a day one big time impact player for the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, not the Dallas Cowboys, the Buffalo Bills, all right? Okay. But yeah, this was a really good draft. Just got the offseason to look forward to, spring training camp. There's a lot of things here. And the Patriots, man, they're so weird. It's one team I wanted to touch on. The Patriots are just so weird. They kept trading back. I mean, there were cornerbacks available. The Patriots just kept trading back to get more picks. And they took Christian Gonzalez, number 17. Great cornerback. I had him as the top-rated cornerback in the draft. And two cornerbacks went before him. Okay. But what's so interesting here is the New England Patriots didn't take any top offensive talent in this draft. I'm just so curious to what their plan is. Bill Belichick isn't calling the plays anymore for this offense, thank goodness. But I don't know, man. What are they planning to do? It's not like it's not like they build great offensive talent. They're the greatest in the league at building defensive talent. Whether it's a first round pick, late round pick, they just make it happen. Now I could say one thing about the Patriots: they did draft a lot of offensive linemen. And that's where the success of a football team starts at, in the trenches on that O-line and D-line. If you're buying time for Mac Jones to throw the ball, things can happen. He can make plays. If you're opening gaps and holes for running backs to run through, hey, you're making plays. But, bro, they don't have any talent at the offensive skill position. They did take another receiver. Took two receivers, Keyshawn Butt in round 6, and Demario Douglas also in round 6. So Patriots stay interesting right here, as they always do, okay? All right, guys, but hope y'all enjoyed this edition, this NFL Draft edition of We the Champs. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share, and tune in to us for some more. We the Champs. We out.